So it turns out I played a lot of games in 2021. 960 hours, in fact, which is definitely more PlayStation gaming than I'm proud to admit. It's a lot. It's about the equivalent amount of time for me to have flown from Australia to America 22 times. And back. Not just Australia to America, but Australia to America, and then back to Australia 22 or 23 times if my math is correct. It's a lot of time. I definitely could have done other things with my time in 2021 instead of gaming. So what we're going to do is look at how many platinums I earned in 960 hours worth of gaming and what I spent my time on. Now, this is a really cool thing that Sony have just released, which is called like your PlayStation wrap-up. You'll be able to find it in the link in the description down below. It shows you how many hours you spent gaming, what you spent it on, how many trophies you earned, how many platinums you earned, and like the top 5 games you played. So we're gonna go through all of my data for my top 5 games I played the most, the trophies I earned, the platinums I earned in 960 hours as well. But if you guys want to find it out about you, just click on the link in the description. It will take you through to PlayStation's website. You log in and it gives you all this data. And it gives you a bunch of free avatars for doing it as well. So it's kind of like a win-win. I want you guys to comment in the comment section down below how many hours you spent gaming on your PlayStation last year after you've looked it up, as well as let me know what your top couple of games were in terms of hours played on PlayStation. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. I make it like every other day on the channel, so hit subscribe just down below. Okay, so this is PlayStation 2021 wrap-up. Check your accomplishments as well as global community stats from PlayStation gamers around the world. So this is kind of what you'll be presented with. I might just snip all this, so I don't know why I need to explain it. You're probably seeing a snipped version of this as is, because there's a lot of stuff on here. So, last year you played for 960 total hours. Take a look back to see what game worlds you spent the most time in and what type of gamer you were. I don't know what type of gamer I was in 2021. I feel like I didn't spend a ton of time gaming, but it turns out I did. I think, well, I mean, I definitely know what the number one most time spent in the game was in 2021 because I talk about it a little bit too often. It's probably kind of obvious. We'll get there in a minute though. I'm just trying to think what I could have done better with this time. And like, I know I made the analogy at the start, but I mean, I could have learned a language. In 960 hours, I probably could have mastered almost a second or a third language. I could have spent more time at the gym if that was like an extra hour at the gym every day. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of things I can think of that I probably would have preferred to have been doing. I like gaming. It's just when you look at it like this on such a grand scale, it's a lot. It's a lot. 960 hours. Okay, total playtime. Okay, so this is really cool. So this breaks down what we did. So we've got here PS5, PS4 hours. So we've got 250, well, 38% of your total playtime was on PlayStation 5 games. So I spent less time playing PS5 games. It makes sense because there wasn't a ton of amazing PS5 games that came out in 2021. There were some good ones, but nothing that I spent an enormous or grandiose amount of time with. I could probably guess what the two games are, like the majority of the games are here. And then 410 or 62% of my time was spent on PS4 games. That only equals like 750 though. No wait, 4 plus 250 equals 760. So that's not even the what was the number? 960? It's off. The numbers don't add up. Don't know why that is. Maybe it doesn't count if a game's been in like an idle or something like that, or maybe like it counts like the YouTube app, which I use a lot of on the PlayStation, and maybe I don't know. Who cares? We've got 396 hours played locally, so 60% of my time was playing not online, which is, I don't know, I didn't play a ton of single player games last year, so I'm not sure what that's counting. I played it for 134 days out of 365, which doesn't give me an average, but sure. And 264 hours played online. Again, those times don't add up, so I'm guessing maybe apps and stuff are probably counted separately to this. And then we've got 0 hours played in VR. I didn't get my VR headset out once last year, which is unfortunate. I feel like I should challenge myself to get my VR headset out more this year. In 2021, you played 26 games, so I didn't actually play a ton of stuff. It was very few things. Here's the new place you explore characters. Okay, cool. So this next part here is the top 5 games. I'm going to split them out, so we'll see them one by one here, and we'll talk about them one by one. I'm seeing them all together in front of me, as you guys probably will too. So let's look at number 5 first. This is a game I played the 5th most in 2021, and then we'll have trophies after that. So the 5th most played game was Hardware Rivals at 21 hours, which is not much. That's like a standard amount of time to play a game, I think. think. Like, that's a normal amount of time to finish a campaign, or maybe even platinum a smaller or shorter game. Hardware Rivals wasn't a very good game. I guess I'll give a little bit of a synopsis on each of these. Hardware Rivals is basically like Twisted Metal. It's a PvP multiplayer game where you play as tanks. This is a game that actually was one of the first ever PlayStation 2 online games back in the day. It was called Hardware Online. Some of you older gamers may remember that as well. It came with the PlayStation 2 network adapter. I really liked it back in the day. It was one of the first, in fact, probably the first online game, maybe except for RuneScape, that I'd ever played in my entire life. And being on console, it was kind of a wild experience. I really did enjoy it, and I wanted to go back and earn the platinum in this one because I sort of had a bit of an affinity to it. Unfortunately, this game is just not very good. It's pretty rough. Sony shut down the servers at the end of last year, in December 2021, and I wanted to make sure I earned the platinum before they shut it down so I'd have it on my trophy card forever. Fortunately, I managed to get it with a boosting partner, but this game was really rough. It was really limited in what you could do. Basically like vehicular combat, but kind of bad. Destruction All Stars is the new version, I guess, of what this is that came out on the PS5 last year. It's also not very good. Maybe the formula just isn't as fun anymore. This game was pretty bad. I would say this game was probably like a 3 or a 4 out of 10 in terms of like my experience with it. It was pretty bad. Number 4, the fourth most played game, was Predator Hunting Grounds at 66 hours. Which seems a little bit low. I thought this one would have been in the hundreds because there was a lot of grindy stuff for this one. Predator Hunting Grounds is a asymmetrical multiplayer game. So it's very similar to like Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th, made by the same guys who did Friday the 13th. I played this one with George and a couple of my other buddies, Matt and Justin, and we went for the platinum trophy in this one. Basically, one person is the Predator and the other 4 players are soldiers. The soldiers need to finish some objectives and extract. The Predator needs to kill the soldiers. So just like Dead by Daylight, killer kills the survivors, survivors need to make the generators and escape. So 2 kind of like counteracting but different objectives. Predator was just executed poorly. It was weird because both teams were powerful, whereas in Dead by Daylight, one team is really weak and one team is really powerful, so one's always running, one's always attacking. And this one here, both were kind of always attacking, but the problem was there was just so much jank in this game, and it was not really updated, and they didn't add new content to it after launch because I guess it wasn't super popular. Strange, given it is a Sony published, like an SIE published game, so it actually fits into Sony's technically published titles, even though it's a second party title. It's a shame they abandoned it because I think it did have potential if they'd expanded it and explored it a little bit further, but they kind of squandered it, unfortunately, and it ended up being a pretty disappointing experience, although I did earn the platinum trophy, I guess in 66 hours. So that's a kind of a good thing. I'm pretty happy with that one. I was going to do a separate video about the platinum for this one, but I ran out of time last year. So Predator Hunting Grounds was pretty rough, pretty bad. I'd say it's more like a 4 or 5 out of 10 in terms of enjoyment factor. The only reason it's that high is because I played it with friends and we could goof around and do silliness. But the grind for this one in terms of the trophies was incredibly difficult. The platinum is still attainable. The servers are still online, so if you want to go and get it yourself, you can. But you'll need a pretty dedicated group of boosters to do it. Number 3 actually surprises me a little bit. It's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. They are obviously counting the PS4 and the PS5 version. I played the entirety of this on PS5 though, not on PS4. 78 hours was my time, I guess, to complete the in-game. I thought this would have been number 2 because I feel like I spent more time with this one, but it means I know what number 2 is going to be, and I definitely know what number 1 is going to be. But Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was not bad. It's I'm actually going to have a separate video about this one, talking about the platinum trophy and earning the platinum trophy in this one because I had a really good time with it. It's split into basically 4 components. You've got zombies, multiplayer, you've got Dead Ops Arcade, and then single player, and it makes up the entirety of this game. Call of Duty Platinums are strange because you do have to do kind of a bit of a lot of different random things, and you have to get really good at lots of weird parts of the game, like random on multiplayer modes or random zombies components. It's very strange how they treat their multiplayer experience in these games. Black Ops Cold War, it was good. It wasn't as fun as Black Ops 4, I don't think. I really did enjoy my time with Black Ops 4, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, very shortly. I would say this one's like a 6 or a 7 in terms of enjoyment. I did actually have a pretty good time with it. You have to be resilient with this platinum though, because it is time consuming. You do need a group of people to do the multiplayer with, to do the zombies with. Well, you can do multiplayer alone, but the zombies with especially. The Dead Ops Arcade is now much more manageable, but still very challenging. And then obviously you've got that massive single player campaign to complete as well. All in all, a good package. This game's not a bad game. Number 2, okay, Hot Wheels Unleashed. This was on the PlayStation 5 as well. Mostly a single player game, 142 hours hours. I guess I'm not completely surprised that it's this high. It's disappointing that it's this high for a couple of reasons. So this game here took me by surprise. It's a really, really fun arcade racer / kart racing game. It mixes both of those elements together really, really seamlessly and creates this actually really refreshingly fun racing game. This game was probably one of my biggest surprises and one of my most hated games of 2021, I would say. So the single player component of this game is actually cool. You're, basically Hot Wheels cars racing in a big real world environment. It's neat. It's actually a really good experience. The challenge is there's a couple of trophies, at least at launch, for getting a particular number of gears and then a particular number of scrap, I believe, which at launch there was no good way to farm these except for just playing multiplayer and grinding multiplayer, which is what we did. I think now they have fixed it so that the economy is a little bit better, but when I played this, the economy was not good and it was a horrible experience. The single player campaign took about 10 hours to complete, for context, which gives you an indication of how long we were grinding multiplayer gears and scrap. Over 130 hours at least, grinding multiplayer just to get scrap, and it was horrible. It was a terrible experience. The economy of this game was completely broken, and it really did ruin the game. The game itself is fun if you just go and play it, but if you go for the Platinum Trophy, it is very painful. At least it was. I do believe they have fixed it now, because I haven't seen as many people complaining about it anymore. So I hope they have fixed it. If they have, I'm not going to even bother looking into it because I have so much just negative vibes around this game, unfortunately. Hot Wheels is weird. I do recommend it as a game to play on its own. I'm going to say it's like a 5 out of 10 in terms of enjoyment, just because we're talking about the whole Platinum experience here. That was bad. It was that took it down. If I didn't go for the Platinum in this one, I would say it's like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. But in terms of fun factor, getting that and grinding it, it's just not worth it. Okay, and my number one most played game, actually by a freaking margin as well. I didn't think it was gonna be this much. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and it's no surprise, I talked about this game so much last year. It says 593 hours. And it actually has it says it's on PS5. This is obviously a PlayStation 4 game. I did play it on PS5, so maybe that's why it's detecting that. This is, I guess, one of my proudest gaming moments and non-proudest gaming moments. I played this game through the majority of our lockdown last year, through our winter, and it was good. It got me through a lot of tough times in 2021 when I stopped making content on the YouTube channel for various reasons, as well as the current global situation and things like that. This game and my friends kept me going through it. It was an adventure. It was definitely an adventure. I have recorded a full video about this, which I'm editing and rejigging and changing a little bit. It's not quite ready yet, but it will be out on the channel at some point in the near future, hopefully, chronicling the entire experience of platinuming this game, all 593 hours of it. Black Ops 4 is it's a rare platinum. It's a very rare platinum for a number of reasons. It's got same kind of thing as Cold War, I would say. It's got a lot of scope. You've got multiplayer, which is your traditional multiplayer affair, which is not actually too challenging. Then you've got the Battle Royale component, Blackout, which is, I guess, a very early stage Battle Royale that was never really evolved beyond 2018, unfortunately. And there's only really pro players playing nowadays, which is a challenge to say the least. You've also got your zombies component as well, which is massive. I think over 3/4 of the trophy list, over half of the trophy list at least, is made up of zombies. And if you've played a Call of Duty game before, just because you're good at multiplayer does not mean you're good at zombies, or vice versa. It means you really do have to master so much of this game to be able to platinum it, or just have a group of friends who can carry you through it, which I fortunately did have. The Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is a very positive experience for me. It's a positive and a negative. I spent 593 hours of my life with this game. That is a negative, but it was a positive, fun journey along the way to earn this platinum trophy. So this one here, out of enjoyment factor, I'm giving this one here probably a 10 out of 10. Although I have been editing that video recently, and there's a lot of very, very depressing low moments in my gaming experience of this game. So who knows actually how much fun I really did have with it. Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, my number one game. Let's have a look at some of these trophy stats. So we earned 355 new trophies across those 26 games that I talked about. That's not bad. Platinum trophy wise, I earned 5 platinum trophies last year, 28 gold trophies, 57 silvers, and 265 bronze trophies. Obviously, the platinum trophies are the games we've just looked at as well, so you can see what my 5 most played games were and my 5 platinums were from 2021. Not bad. Not a bad little wrap up. I'm pretty happy with my whole thing. I think I kind of wish I didn't spend as many hours on Call of Duty now. I didn't realize it was almost 600 hours. I had a hard time with Blackout. We don't need to talk about that right now. I want to hear what your PlayStation wrap up is in the comments down below. Let me know. Curious to get everyone's wrap ups. How much time did you spend gaming in 2021? What were your most played games in 2021? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know what you think of my wrap up as well. Do you enjoy these kind of videos where I talk a bit more about my stuff? I generally shy away from doing this kind of content because people get really kind of weird about it. So let me know if you want to hear more about me, and I can share more of my experiences and things like this if you are interested. If not, I'll just quietly stop doing it. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Happy New Year, everybody, especially to my Patreons and channel members. Thank you to each and every one of you fine folks for helping to keep this channel's lights running. 2022 is going to be an exciting year. I cannot wait to show you what we have in store for this channel. Thank you to everyone over here on the side of me to helping to support the channel and to keep the channel going. If you too want to help support the channel like these fine folks over here, you can do so by hitting the Patreon link in the description down below, and as little as $1 per month can help this channel out enormously. Alternatively, if you want to become a channel member, you can do the membership button that's just below this video. You get cool things next to your name. You get to use different emotes in chat. It's a whole thing. Either way, I really appreciate you. Thank you all so much. And trust me, 2022 is gonna be a good one. All right.